say when I started and when Suicide started, I started personally before that, of course, and Alan did as a visual artist. There wasn't a collective, and there wasn't an idea. A scene, to call a scene punk, materialized maybe 4 or 5 years later, and it was a total coincidence to us, because we used punk to describe some of our gigs when we make our own little posters and put them up on trees and stuff, you know, like everybody does and did. For about 6 months to a year, maybe 4 or 5 gigs, and then we'd go on to other little handles, you know, to call it something our next show. And when the scene became punk around 75, because the journalists who now are coming into the scene, and it was more and more people coming in, although it was still so-called underground. The mainstream hadn't embraced it yet, the mainstream press, but it was CBGB's was now starting to happen, Max's, early 76. And then the journalists gave it the name punk to describe it. At the same time, there was never a conscious, especially to us, because we didn't fit into the genre that was being defined. When you look at the other bands in the scene, we were considered to fit in a certain way, attitude-wise, and we had already been there with that. So we kind of came in on the fact that that you almost couldn't leave, you know, we were already punk to them, but in terms of what we were actually doing, 2 guys, electronics, totally, that was atypical of anything else that was happening. So there was not